Alright guys, Heretic U here, back. Did you miss me? Because it is time for some Relic nights. That's right, this time we're doing a special multiplayer 3-on-3 free-for-all, starting with our first faction here, which will be Doctrine. Okay, so starting with the Doctrine, scenarios are going to be a secure perimeter and defensive life, and we flipped prismatic in play, so that means there's about 5 different ways to score victory points here, so it's going to be pretty interesting. So not only are we playing with 3 factions, there's going to be multiple ways to score. So you've got prismatic, destruction, your primary, your faction, and your secondary objective. So pretty crazy stuff. So moving on to our second faction, we've got the Cersei Speed Circuit. Their scenarios are going to be heist and realign. Prismatics in play for everyone. That's right, whenever you flip that, it's in play for everyone. So everyone can score, like I said, 5 different ways. They have an interesting list. They're going with a themed cosplay list. They have cosplay Renfera as Renfera. They're going with the Dark Space Candy and the Questing Knight Marie Claude. So all cosplay. And last but not least, my Star Nebula Corsairs. My scenarios are going to be tear it down, assassinate, and prismatic is in play for me as well. For me, this is kind of an experimental list. We're playing 35 points, and I decided to take Harker, Moffat, and a full unit of Corsairs. The experimental part being Moffat, and she's pretty pricey at this low point level. But I was hoping to get objectives. I didn't. So these are going to be like kill and destroy stuff for me. Okay kids, let's take a look at how the objectives are deployed. So starting with my Corsairs, you can see they're kind of spread out diagonally across the center of the table. Cersei's got theirs high up in the building, so that's their primary objective. You can see one in the corner of the ruins. Panning around the table, I think Doctrine has in that Warhammer 40k rune in the center frame there. They've got a primary and then a secondary over there. So pretty well spread out. We're playing on a 4x4 table. So that's gonna help alleviate some of the crowd spacing that we're gonna have. Especially playing 3 factions. You see Mark placing down his boost markers. So you've got an ammo drop on top of the building and an Esper condenser that's next to one of my secondary objectives. So Mark having some spare points there. My opinion, spending it wisely. You get a better look at where Phil's objective marker is, and a closer look at his coolly painted librarian. So you got one objective marker behind the wall, that being his one of his secondary. I think the primary is in the ruins, and then you have the final objective off in the corner there. And in case you're wondering, this is a Frontline gaming mat. We've been enjoying that at the local hobby store. They'll be getting those in, and if you wanted to take a closer look at them, that's what they look like. There's a shot of my list. Pretty small, but we're playing only 35 points, so not a lot of room for Corsairs. I've never tried to do one where it's a 3-on-3. Yoko's on the building. Chun-Li kicking lamppost. Who's that? Don't you talk to me like that? Who's behind over there? There's the novitiates? Who's that? Yep. Oh, you only have 2? Yeah. For this list? Okay. two novitiates. Those less. Biometa and Delphine. And hey, you forgot the cipher.
Like for today?
You forgot the.
Like for the game. Oh, guys.
You forgot the cipher.
Well, I know. I had everybody gone around. You've done, so I gotta put the cipher.
I'm done.
Yeah, I'm done.
All right, then.
Oh yeah, you have one more.
All right. And okay, let's begin. Starting with Cersei. They are the hero of this little three-way battle. They activate Rinfera, who targets my Corsairs and takes one of them out. Okay, next up is Doctrine. They start by activating Playmeta. Should warn you guys that Phil is pretty new to the game, so he actually ended up taking back his move and doing a refocus action. So he's going to bank some. He's gonna bank some Esper and get some new cards, because obviously his cards were crapola. Moving on to Corsairs. So Moffat does a refocus, and then we have there's Chun-Li activating, and she is going to move towards one of the objectives. I then activate Harker. Will we skip an activation? I'm not sure. He moves out, takes a shot at Rinfera, and deals out some damage. I believe I pushed too. Kind of went all in because I had stored Esper from being within line of sight of Caesar, and wanted to push the damage as much as possible because Rinfera is worth 4 victory points for me. And you can see my follow-up move. So I'm just gonna take advantage of that unlimited range there and just try to pick her off the building. Okay, so yeah, I think we screwed up on our order of activations. Anyways, Doctrine's going. Delphine's gonna activate. And she's going to call her cipher next to her. So, or I think they're linked. That's right. So the cipher moves, transfers Esper to Delphine. That's what happened. So here comes the Corsairs. They are going to activate, and they are shooting at Rinfera as well. And then with their follow-up move, they're just going to run towards the objective. So Rinfera, she was able to actually dodge that one, but I did make her spend a ton of Esper to do that. So that's one of the tactics you want to do. Get people to burn their hands, worried about the attacks, because Corsairs can do a lot of damage, and you saw Candy and Cola activate, or Candy activate, and no, actually that was Marie-Claude activating and taking out the novitiates. So right off the bat, Doctrine will not be able to score their defensive life. Marie-Claude taking them out in one shot. So Doctrine goes with the Librarian, who is going to move towards one of my objectives. Obviously going to secure, since I have nothing in the backfield to sort of block him for lack of models. And then you see Miss Moffat. Is it Miss Moffat? I mean, her name's Moffat. Using one of her support actions to teleport and land right on top of one of Doctrine's objectives. Then we got Candy is going to activate and because she had held Esper, she's going to use that to infuse one of my objectives. So everyone's kind of running around doing their own thing. No hidden alliances being made right now. No deals. Usually it happens in a 3-player game, but not this time. So we got Via Meta activating, and I believe she is going to, I think she's casting a spell at, I believe that's going against I want to say that's going against Candy. Yeah, so that's him requeuing, and now we got back to Harker, who once again gets stored Esper, is going to move, stay within line of sight of Rinfera, and take a shot at her. Rinfera's not going to have enough Esper or the bright cards to block, and I believe this is where she is going to die. So that is it for Rinfera. Off the top of the building, and there's my follow-up move. And that'll put Corsairs on the board with 4 points. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. There's Marie Claude stepping out, taking a long-range shot on the pirates. This one's gonna hurt. I keep pirates. You know, I've been bumping up their armor as a reaction, but it wasn't good enough. She takes out 2, so I'm down to 2 Corsairs. So that's bad news. Here comes Doctrine, and the Librarian puts a secure token quietly. He's just sneaking around, and that's gonna be a problem because I've been whittled down with that little firefight between Marie Claude and and Rinfera. I don't really have enough firepower to take care of that Librarian, so that's gonna be very, very tough for me to deal with. Next you got Candy. She's gonna go and attack Harker, but I'm spending quite enough stuff to be able to block that attack. And then we have Delphine, who activates, gets some stored Esper, and I think she placed a secure token. Actually, now that I'm watching the footage, she picks up a Harvest Crystal. So Doctrine playing for Prismatic, which is pretty good play because, you know, losing defensive life pretty much robs them of 3 victory points. So that's bad news. You saw Moffat activate. She took a booty token from that objective and now is running back towards my primary objective. And then you have Clementa activating, and she's got a Harvest Crystal as well. And then we got Caesar activating. He's going to transfer Esper to Harker. I just kind of stay by him during this fight. So, and then so Dark Space Candy's gonna go. She's gonna do a little karate kick to Harker's face. Like I said, I was kind of prepared for that. Transferring Esper allowed me to, and the cards in my hand allowed me to block that attack from Dark Space Candy. So, but she is a threat, and I think she has to go. Here's the Librarian activating for Doctrine. He's just being sneaky. He's just sneaking around. No one's targeting him. The pirates are on their own agenda, climbing up the building, trying to get to Mark's objective. So I'm trying to get Heist, and then there is Marie Claude putting an infused token on another objective. And then we got the Cypher going for Doctrine, doing some transfer shenanigans. I believe that one it was also going to Delphine as well. Harker's going to go. And he is getting a cargo token, or a booty token. So you get 2 models with booty tokens. Now running back, just hoping to score. I need to score my faction. That'll give me 2 points if I can get that. As you can see, Dark Space Candy going once again. This time Flametta activating, and I believe she is going to smash one of her crystals. So Doctrine going for Prismatic. Going to be very deadly. There's her follow-up move. So activate, smash crystal, and then go. Moffat is doing her best to run back and get that booty token to my primary objective. And so hopefully that'll put me within 1 point of winning this, because we're playing 35 points. First player to 8 takes it all. So we'll see how that goes. Delphine going again. She is pumped full of Esper. She's going right for their own objective. So Phil is pushing it pretty hard, as you see the Cypher going and attacking Miss Moffat, and I didn't have the cards to block, so she's going to take damage there. And then Pirates go. They get another booty token just in case. Just in case either Moffat doesn't make it or Harker runs into trouble. We're hoping they can go unabated, but I am worried about that librarian. So she's just kind of running around there. And I've got a lot of things in the way of my primary objective. So looking back at this, I'm thinking probably not the best place to put the primary objective if you're going for heist. As you can see, that was Marie Claude sniping another one of my pirates. I'm down to 1 guy, and then a secure token by the librarian. So Phil, he's the Doctrine player, he's doing pretty well. I mean, we're basically not attacking him. Me and Mark have decided to wage war on each other, and his librarian is walking around unabashed. And here comes Dark Space Chun-Li, I should say, or Candy. She's dressed up as Chun-Li, and she is going to go all in, push the attack, and basically, I think this is the part where Moffat, poor little Miss Moffat, is going to die, and there's nothing I can do about it. That's her booty token being dropped, and Chun-Li they are doing the Street Fighter pose right in the middle of the table, saying, haha, you are not going to score any more points. Meanwhile, Fiametta activates, and I believe is placing a secured, or moving to place a secured token behind that tower. The last of the Corsairs are going, and they are gunning for that primary objective, as the Cypher for Cersei Speed Circuit activates and transfers Esper to Dark Space Candy. And now you have Miss Little Delphine activating, grabbing another crystal. So this is going to be, Doctrine is just sort of, they really haven't engaged anybody, and no one's really engaged them. So interesting turn of events there, as they are just kind of quietly moving around, grabbing their objectives. So that is going to be very tough to once they start going, and because there's a war of attrition going on here. As you see, Harker doing an overrun move on Marie Claude, trying to take her down as much as possible, because if I get those 3 points for killing her. Alright, so Marie Claude goes, drops a speed boost token, or buffs Dark Space Chun-Li. I keep saying Chun-Li. Her name's Candy. That's going to up her move, and Fiametta moves in base contact with one of the objectives. She actually, in between those two moves, she smashed a crystal, and that was the third crystal, so that's going to put Doctrine at 3. Pirates are going to activate and finally be able to interact and drop off the booty token. So halfway towards my faction objective there. And then you've got Dark Space Candy activated. She's going to move over there. Obviously, she had to spend both her initial and her follow-up move, so not able to infuse that. But what you saw really fast was the Librarian go, and he lays down a secure token. That leaves one left for Doctrine, so I try and activate Harker for the block, and try to shoot Fiametta to try to stop her from going.
Yep. Alright. Fiametta goes and drops a secure token on that objective, and that's 5 points for me.
And that's game, right?
Yep.
Damn it. Nice going, Phil.
Domination!
Because we just ignored Phil the entire time. We're just like, you know what? Phil doesn't know what he's doing. He's just getting around. It's this guy's fault. Damn side story. Just side story.
The slowest model ever walking him.
So, Doctrine take it at the very end. Being all sneaky and stuff. Just quick lesson to you guys. Sometimes it's better to go for the objectives than just run around and try to kill each other. Me and Mark play each other all the time, though, and so we've got a pretty heated rivalry. So I think that was the mistake that I made, was I didn't even go for my primary objective. I just wanted to take out Mark's stuff because he was going after me so hard, and that allowed Phil, the Doctrine player, to just, sneak in and lay some secure tokens down. So, secure tokens are pretty easy to counter. You just have to secure them back. But it's hard to do when you're down guys, you're being attacked. So, congrats to Phil. Congrats to Doctrine. This is their second time on this channel, the Doctrine. So, they've won every time after that. So, wow, pretty cool. So, but before we end, kids, we are going to play a little bit of Let's Name That Anime. So, same rules apply as always. First one to comment with the correct anime scores yourself a bonus point. So here we go. Let's see if you can name this guy. Alright, hopefully that sound came out okay. Just playing it off my phone, so whatever, if you can name it. And that was the sound saying it's time for me to go to bed. So if you can name that anime, put it in the comments and win yourself a bonus point. And I will see you guys on the next one. See ya.